Welcome back to On the Bench. I'm Chillicothe Dele, joined by Nick Luttrell. Lots of buzz on campus this weekend. Hey, how you doing?
Yeah, that was nice. That was good. That was part of the plan, right?
No, definitely
Can I do that?
not. No, I'm not talking about the boss, Bruce Springsteen. I'm talking
buzz.
about the Syracuse football spring game. Nick, record crowds for this one, over
Yeah.
16,500 people, most ever for a Syracuse spring game, and Fran Brown's year one.
It was really exciting. I was talking to one of our men's lacrosse beat reporters, Adam Gotkin, before the men's lacrosse game, and I was like, which men's lacrosse game or spring game, who's going to have more fans? And football fans, man, they showed out in this game. It was really fun to watch a lot of the players that showed up and showed out in this game, between LaQuint Allen and a lot of the freshmen that have stepped up in this one. But, I mean, you look no further than your guy who I know you're pretty hyped up to talk about, and that's Kyle McCord, Chile.
Oh, yeah, the Philly guy, right? The Ohio State transfer. Can I get the little Rocky theme song going? Let me stop, okay? 18 completions on 28 passes, 242 yards, and a touchdown in one half of spring game action on the Blue Squad. Carlos Del Rio Wilson as well, throwing for 101 yards. He knew how to escape the pocket as well.
Yeah.
A good day of hitting and a nice day offensively for Syracuse football. Well, hey, the next time you'll see Fran Brown and the Orange playing a real football game will be in August on the 31st, and it won't be against each other, against Ohio. But before we look at that date, let's look at Thursday, April 25th, NFL Draft Day. Nick has left me to join someone cooler than me, I guess. Nick, tell me who it is.
Chile, I'll tell you who it is. It's this guy, Liam Griffin, Q's Countdown analyst. Liam, thanks so much for joining us. I'm surprised they let us back, in this station. We had our last shows, but we're here now.
Yeah, I know. I was in control room 2 minutes ago,
Wow.
and now I'm here. How can I be in two places at once?
That's impressive stuff,
I know,
but
right?
you're here now. That's all that matters. We just talked about the exciting spring game that the Orange had on Saturday. Let's flip the page now to focus on the NFL draft coming up in a few days, Liam. I know there might not be a lot of players that could be drafted in this year's NFL draft, but who are some players that maybe fans should keep their eyes on for this weekend?
Well, I'll be honest, Nick, there aren't exactly a bunch of touted players like there were last year with your Matthew Bergerons and your Garrett Williams. But one player you want to look out for right out of the chute, that's Isaiah Johnson, the cornerback, transferred over from Dartmouth, played very successfully here at Syracuse, has really good size for a cornerback, plays well in his zone, doesn't have the speed necessary to play man defense against NFL wide receivers, though. So if he's going to get drafted, it'll probably be 5th or 6th round. Besides him, you got Caleb Okechukwu on your screen right there. Good defensive end, but doesn't really stack up to what is a really loaded defensive end class. He might find success as an undrafted free agent, Nick. I don't know, but for him to get drafted, it's going to be tough. Then Chris Bleich, scouts like his footwork. Scouts hate his inability to be able to pick up on the blitz. So if it's going to be Bleich, it's going to be an undrafted free agent situation as well. Yeah,
we'll definitely see how it goes this weekend. Now, a player you didn't mention, that is Garrett Schrader, and you see him behind me, star quarterback for the Orange for the past few seasons. I know as of a month ago, he was recovering from an injury, very injury prone. He didn't participate in SU's senior day. What can you tell us about how his rehab process is going and the likelihood of him maybe ending up on an NFL roster in the fall?
Well, first of all, you mentioned it, Nick. He's a very injury-prone player, and that's really held him back at SU over the course of his really entire collegiate career. And not to be the bearer of bad news, but I think it's going to hold him back on draft day as well. Nick, based off raw talent alone, he has NFL potential. But if you can't stay healthy, I don't know if many NFL teams are going to take a chance on you. But I do like Garrett Schrader in the Canadian Football League.
Okay.
North of the border, their fields are much larger. Really perfect for scrambling quarterbacks. Doug Flutie, former Boston College player, really thrived, and he was a primary scrambler. I see success for Garrett Schrader there. In the big league, though, I just don't know.
So not the NFL, but the CFL.
Yeah.
The CFL is our prediction from Liam Griffin. We'll have to see.
Let's go British Columbia.
Okay, all right. We'll switch our focus to next year's draft now. It seems like the 2025 NFL draft might produce a bit more Q's players in this year's draft. Is that right?
Yeah, one of the reasons this year's draft is so light for Syracuse is that most of the players that could have gotten drafted this coming draft on Thursday, they're going back to school, Nick. Marlo Wax, Aronde Gadsden, Justin Barron. You might even throw a LaQuint Allen or a Kyle McCord in there. There's plenty of talent on this roster that could make the NFL, Nick. Gadsden needs to stay healthy. Wax and Barron need to take a step up. McCord needs to prove he's not a Marvin Harrison Jr. merchant. So, Nick, there's plenty of talent. A year from now, this is going to be an entirely different conversation because there's just more talent in this group than there is the group that's supposedly getting drafted later this weekend.
Yeah, definitely be exciting for stuff this weekend, but also next year. You can be sure to follow Liam and Citrus TV Sports on all social media platforms for continued coverage of SU football, especially heading into this week's draft. Liam, thanks so much for the time.
Such a pleasure to be on air with you one last time, Nick.
All right, Chile, we'll send it back to you.
Thank you, Liam. Thank you, Nick. And that was a weird take, LG talking about Garrett Schrader to the CFL. I don't know how I feel about seeing him on TSN in the middle of the summer. All right, more Metsies now. It's time to take a look at our nominees for Team of the Year. Lots of good candidates from around the Hill this year, and we've narrowed down the nominees to 3. Our first one, Syracuse women's lacrosse, currently number 4 team in the nation right now. Our second one, Syracuse men's lacrosse for Team of the Year. And our last one, women's basketball. A lot of good storylines, Nick Luttrell.
Yeah, it will be. I mean, all 3 of those teams have played so good this season. Yeah. A team that we didn't mention, the Syracuse field hockey team, maybe not as good for teams like women's ice hockey and volleyball. That's why we don't talk about them. That's why we talk about those 3. But hey, I'm excited. Let's open up that envelope.
Can we get a little drum roll, please?
A drum roll?
Yeah.
All right. I got to set my papers down.
Build the suspense. The winner for best team, women's basketball.
All right.
And Nick, again, a lot of great storylines
Yeah.
for Felicia Leggett Jack and company this year.
Absolutely. I mean, you look at Deasia Fair climbing up the rankings as one of the best players in all of college basketball. 3rd. She finished 3rd in all-time Division I point scoring. You look at Alyssa Latham when she came in as a freshman. She'll be missed, no doubt, for this team. But, I don't disagree with the producers here and what we've decided as far as our teams of the year. Think about not women's basketball, but men's lacrosse and women's lacrosse. They're yet to finish their season, so it'll definitely be interesting to see how the rest of the season play out for them. But for the women's basketball team, a lot of prop has to go to head coach Felicia Leggett Jack. It'll be a different team for next year, but very exciting for what they accomplished this season.
For sure, for sure.
All right, our next benchy is the best game of the year. Chile, I think we got a little bit of a steal here. We're going to talk about the best team. Now we're going to talk about the best game. And there are a lot of great games over the course of the year, a lot of good moments, a lot of terrific games. But there can only be 3 nominees, and let's get right into it. The nominees for best game of the year. First, we have the women's basketball game against Florida State. Big time win at home against FSU. Next, we have Quadir Copeland's buzzer beater win as the SU men's basketball team upset Miami. And then just earlier this week, men's lacrosse this past weekend over Virginia. A lot of special moments between all 3 of those games, but there can only be one, Chile. You want me to open up this envelope?
Definitely. I wanted to say that the producers waited till the very last second to get some of these submissions.
They did because of that men's lacrosse game. It was very exciting. I was there. I was able to photog it. It was really exciting. Yeah, but hey, I'm gonna waste no more time. Look at these special envelopes we have. It's very exciting.
You want me to do the drum roll for you?
Yeah, you want to do the drum roll? Let's do it. Wow, this is so nerve-wracking. You gonna keep going or? Okay. The winner is men's basketball versus Miami as the best game of the year. SU winning 72-69. As we talked about, Quadir Copeland hitting the game-winning buzzer-beating 3 to help the Orange upset the Hurricanes. Chile, I talked about photogging the men's lacrosse game. You were actually the person filming this game. How special was it being on the court for it?
You know, I just kept on thinking to myself, don't mess this up, don't mess this up. But you know how sometimes you go to a game and you just have the feeling that there's something big that's going to happen?
Yeah.
That's exactly what happened here. Exactly what happened here. Loved every second of it.
You got some special moments there. You got Quadir Copeland. You rushed onto the court. As Copeland hit that 3-pointer, you got some good shots of Vince. But really special for all those games. A special moment for us is we say goodbye to Citrus TV Sports and to On the Bench for the final time. Chile, I know for me and you, this place has meant a lot to us. It's meant a family more than anything, isn't that right?
Yeah, definitely. Everybody in the sports department, everybody in the news department, everybody all across the station, news, sports, entertainment, it's been absolutely wonderful to me, and I hope I was able to help in some way, shape, or form. So thank you all.
And I just got a couple thank yous to hand out as well. Chile, you've been a special part of my journey here. Andrew Sullivan, normally my co-anchor on OTB. Noah Searson, Ryan Nelson, former sports director. Ryan Bridges, former EP of this show. Max Gifford, the current executive producer, and our current sports director, Adam Cohen. It's been a privilege being the sports director, being an anchor, being a reporter for so many sports. It's been so much fun. But hey, OTB is not done yet. We're done, but OTB isn't. One last break coming up on our senior extravaganza. When we return, we'll swap out with Philip Galati and Jesse Cook, who will talk Syracuse tennis, softball, and of course, our top plays and not top plays of the year. OTB returns in a bit.